Hi everybody, Zach here for another episode of our flagship program, The Spideydude Experience. This episode is brought to you by our loyal patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Pledge today and get both early access to content on the main channel, as well as entirely exclusive content like brand new shows and commentaries for old Spidey stuff, including commentaries for the MTV series, for example, as well as the video editions for Voices from the Eyrie Gargoyles Podcast. And our Patreon first show focused on the Krakoan era of X-Men. We also want to encourage you to check out our other programs that are all available on Audio Edition. These are all over on Spideydude.com, and they're available on your favorite podcasting app. Shows like Clone Saga Chronicles, the show that started this entire network, Spectacular Radio, Spectacular Sal Buscema era podcast, Amazing Spider-Man Classics, the Slot Symposium, and the sister program on this channel, Make Mine Mayday. As always, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help us big time in the algorithm. And additionally, if you have topics you'd like to cover on a live show or in a recorded medium, make sure to leave a comment down below the description or shoot us an email at SpideyDudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. Finally, make sure to join our community and be alerted to all new updates by hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell. But to be clear, your viewership is more than enough for us. And if you want to hang out with us off YouTube, you can always go to our Discord, where we have all sorts of fun stuff, or you can join us on our social medias and follow us there. All the links are down in the description below. As always, we want to be making some references to visual aids and or live comments. If you're an audio listener, pay that no mind, but leave that 5-star review for us. Any and all feedback we will read on future episodes. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get rolling with this episode of the Spideydude Experience. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spideydude Experience. I'm Zach Joyner, your friendly neighborhood webmaster of Spideydude.com, as I just mentioned, and we are back for our first episode of 2025. We're covering not just one, but two issues of the Spectacular Spider-Men in this particular episode. We're covering issues 10 and 11. It was because of the way the holidays fell and the way these issues came out. As always, I am joined, as I remove myself in the thumbnail, but I'm always joined by Mr. Greg Bishansky, host of Voices from the Eyrie, Gargoyles Podcast.
Ill met by moonlight. Actually, nothing ill. How are you?
I'm good. And we have Shakes Neil in the Park, theater bitch, Neil Bogenrider.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
I'm about to dethrone him on that one.
And finally, or at least for now, we do have one more coming. She will be on here in a little bit, is Ashley. We have Mr. Adam. Enchilada Legs returns.
Yes. Happy New Year. First show of 2025. Let's go.
Let's freaking go. Missed you on the ASM review, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably be on the one at the end of this month.
All right. Well, it'll be you, me, Chris, and I think Walter.
Should I be reading that book?
No. You got that shit in stereo. You know what?
Nice.
Read it in April when they get the new number one.
The new number one. Gotta buy that new number one.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it on the show, I don't think, because I don't think it had came out until after we did. But yes, there is a new number one, Amazing Spider-Man, coming out in April. Neil's excited because Pepe Larraz is the artist, right, Neil?
Sure.
For
audio
sounds so enthusiastic.
He had his hand on his chin because he was like, "No, I'm really not excited."
Meanwhile,
if it was a better writer or a writer who wasn't under Lowe's thumb, I'd be more excited. But I am not, because it's not.
Yeah. So it will be Joe Kelly. We thought the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man was going to be temporary, but I don't know how long this run's going to be. It's probably not going to be very long. Potentially. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
And for those of you that are trying to keep warm in the Deep South, I pity you. I am wearing a hoodie as we record this, so I am doing it for the brand.
Yeah, it's freezing up here in New York, but
I also want
to... yeah, please.
Yeah, I was going to acknowledge our hearts are broken over what's going on in California right now with the wildfires in LA County. They have just destroyed neighborhoods and ravaged homes. it is utterly horrific what's going on, and it's 0% contained. Greg, you did reach out to Mr. Weisman.
Yes, I did.
But I know
I
there
spoke to Greg. Yeah, I
go ahead.
spoke to Greg Weisman. I texted him earlier. He's fine. He hasn't had to evacuate his home. He's good. His family is good.
So that's good news on that front. I know that there are many that are unfortunately having to evacuate. The Palisades, it looks like, I don't know if there's going to be much left with the way it's going. I'm sure even down as far south as you, Adam, you can probably smell the wildfires burning even down there in San Diego, right?
I lived out there for a couple of years, and even though it's been about 15 years since I've lived there, I really loved it out there. I'm seeing a lot of areas I recognize, areas that I know that I used to drive through or go out to lunch or dinner in, just going up in flames. And that's nothing compared to the loss of life in people's homes and anything, but it's always, when you know the places, when you recognize the places, when the places you've been to that you know, it just hits even closer to home.
You know, for me, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, the New Orleans attack. I've been to Bourbon Street 30, 40 times. I know that place like the back of my hand, and seeing that tragedy unfold, or the aftermath of that tragedy unfold, was extremely sobering. And luckily, my family was not anywhere near it. They were across the river, but it was a little scary for a little bit because
our hearts go out to everyone who was hurt in that also.
Yeah. So just what a shitty way to start 2025. I thought we were going to turn the page on 2024, but
you mean 2020 Part 5?
I am really sick of the 2020 sequels. Okay.
Me too.
We got bird flu in Austin. You know, like
mask mandates are back.
Yeah, like fuck, dude. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just ready for 2019, the sequel. That's what I'm ready for.
May you live in interesting times.
What
I got that fortune cookie once.
I'm tired of living in historical events.
Me too. I want to go back to times that are boring.
I want 2008 back. That was a great time to be alive.
I want the 1990s back.
I was going to say, I'd much rather have the 90s than the 08.
Yeah, that was the joke. That was the joke.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
On that note, I got to say, Walter has a comment. If Neil is theater bitch, where is his costume?
It's in Zach's, there.
Yeah, it's at Zach's place.
Yeah, though I might actually be nice. Though I might actually be topping our good friend Neil is theater bitch, shakes Neil in the park because, and for our audio listeners who can't see this, I'm showing this on the video. I've had this poster since before I could even walk. It was in my bed, in every bedroom I've had since I was an infant. It's a PBS showing of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So, yeah, on topic for tonight.
Yeah, specifically for issue 11, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Neil is only going to stay on, I think, for the first issue because he's going to explain what the hell God.
I can stay for the second one. I got nothing else going on. So
okay, well, so let's get into tonight's issue. Man, they keep moving shit around. I don't like it. All right. Oh, we want issue.
Wait, what's that? Walter Bonham? What's that comment?
Greg wants to cosplay as Puck, apparently. Are we talking Puck from Midsummer?
Well, they're both kind of the same Puck, but at the same time, fuck that. I'll cosplay as Queen Titania.
I mean, considering Walter's obsession with making us dress up in drag.
My friend Cindy actually did that at a gathering of the Gargoyles in 2004. She had a Queen Titania costume. Again, same characters based on the one from Midsummer Night's Dream. So,
oh no.
Granted, I had to paint my face green for that also, but
yeah, just don't use dye. Use face paint.
Yeah, I've heard that story. I've heard about this.
I literally read a webcomic, and that was like the joke. They had dressed up in a Wiccan outfit, and he painted himself up in green, but he realized it wasn't paint; it was dye.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this like that one? What is it? Liar, Liar, that movie where Paul Giamatti gets covered in they put blue stuff in his pool, and he
Kinda, yeah. Kinda. All right, so I got issue 11 a day early because of the holiday, which was kind of cool. Came out on New Year's Eve, but this came out on the 18th. Issue number 10. On the cover, it says, featuring a guest star from Gods. This is written by Greg Weisman. It is Andre Gilolette and Emilio Lasso are the artists for this issue.
Why did you go to Google? Did you go to Google Annunciation for that, or
No?
Oh, okay.
Hey, we have friends who don't know how to properly say carrion.
Karian or Anthony Serba. Usually what happens is Gerard would have corrected me if I had said it wrong. So anyway, so we open with Wednesday now, where the Electros, that is Francine Fry, with a new Marvel Legends coming out later this year, and Max Dillon trying to flash fry the Spideys as they swing around the city, and turns out Gist is there, and I don't know who the hell Gist is, but we're gonna get the gist here in a bit with Neil.
Wow.
Oh, come on, that was good.
Oh wait, I didn't know I kind of just said wow as a default response. I wasn't really paying attention.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we can then go back to earlier on Wednesday, where Pete and Miles are joined at the hip, showing up at the Coffee Bean. Peter expecting his latte to be already done when they showed up extremely early, because Miles, still knows how to use an app and Peter doesn't. I
don't get this. Like, is it just haha Peter's old? Is that the joke, or
yes?
That's the joke, yeah.
Hell, I don't use an app to order my food either, and I probably should, but I still don't.
I do, because I like the points. Like, I ate Chick-fil-A tonight, and half of it was free.
Okay.
Okay.
So we then get to they're there early because they have a coffee date. We have the ghost of Sally Averill and Kamala Khan.
The
Kamala
ghost of Sally yet to come.
the ghost of Sally future. Kind of talking about each other and everything like that, and Peter acknowledging that Sally, you really didn't treat me good in high school. But also kind of interesting. I really like this bit because, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but
we need Bertone here to do his impression of Sally with her spectacular German voice, reading these lines.
Hang on, I can't do it, but I kind of want to try just for shits and giggles.
Do it.
Thanks. Not many people are, including her parents. I'm gonna jump.
I'm dead. Oh, that's even funnier.
That was awful, but in some ways it was even better.
So with apologies to Grey Delisle.
Yeah. So
listen, she understood the assignment, and so did I.
Yes, she did. She did.
So be the most annoying person ever.
And that's why I loved her.
Peter acknowledges that he's dating Shay. Miles acknowledges...
I don't even know who Shay is. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me.
Yeah. Okay, it's better you not know and suffer not knowing than suffer knowing.
And so,
I'll survive not knowing.
And Miles is also dating Tiana, so obviously they're not going to be dating these two in the book. But Peter, wants to be like, hey, I just wish we could be friends. And then there's some awkwardness between Kamala and...
Listen, okay, I gotta give Peter credit. He's enough of a Rizzler that, like, Sally's like, okay, if Shay doesn't work out, hit me up.
Dude has options. Like,
he has a Rolodex.
He has a Hoadex.
A little black book. What? You see, it took us a second, but he didn't get the ghost of Sally yet to come, because she clearly wants to date Peter line.
Yeah. Well,
is why
I wonder if you've heard that phrase before?
No, because I talk about women like normal people.
Well, that's what me and my buddies used to call our phone books when we wanted to have girls around.
a little black book, but I never used the term Hoadex.
Hoadex.
What are they, like Pokemon?
Yeah.
No, it's like a
never used that
Rolodex.
one. Yeah, that's pretty bad, Zach. I mean, it's funny, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, Ashley would have been giving me shit if she was here. Anyway.
Oh, hey, look, it's April and her boyfriends, Derek, and what's the other one from Parks and Rec?
Trey and Krista.
Are these OCs or?
Yeah, who are these people, Greg?
That's Night Mask, isn't it?
It's Night Mask, but it's like two
OCs, probably. I don't know.
Okay, so it was Night Mask is now in a triad.
Hey, we saw the Krakoa experiment really worked out well for Cyclops, Jean, and Wolverine, so we might as well try it in New York. 2025, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Peter then tells Miles not to even think about it. Then we cut back to now where Peter and Miles are like, hey, we got this. We can get rid of this battle shockingly quick. And they're like, well, we worked around, you worked around. So then they decided to switch things up because kinky. And we then go back to where Shashan is helping, soon to be.
Wait.
Hang on. Gamer Sly Ratchet. They're from Starbrand and Night Mask. What the fuck? I didn't know this. Were they in a triad before polyamory was mainstream?
Probably. I don't know.
Probably implied.
It's been probably not. I haven't read Starbrand and Night Mask in many years. I've got the trade. I should probably give it a reread.
We can ask friend of the show, Greg Weisman, and maybe he can give an answer.
We have Juliet and Shashan. Juliet is trying to learn trying to control her elemental powers. Then we have the therapist show up to form the circle of trust. And now, before we turn the page, obviously, Juliet came to help our spider boys out. And they think, well, we've already figured out how to deal with water. And then she's like, well, I got fire. And so bam, she sits there, full splash page, shoots fire. We then cut back to.
Can I ask a dumb question? Wouldn't it make more sense for her to turn into water again and then just let them electrocute themselves?
Doesn't that come up?
Well, they say that they would superheat to get rid of the water. So it would turn into steam if it touched them.
Okay.
That's the justification.
Okay, sure.
So I'm tired of that old weakness. They've found out the electrodes have figured out how to avoid the water weakness.
So we then get back to the circle of trust where they're talking to Juliet and be like, hey, are you okay with being just friends and not falling in love with this chick again? And then we get Mia Darorama and Doctor Strange apparently sent her to come find Juliet. And so then we cut back to now.
Who this character is.
Okay, so
this is where Neil will explain. You want to do it after the recap?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it after the recap.
Okay.
Yes.
So Electro start flying off. Juliet uses her ground powers and gets them grounded. We then go back to where Juliet's kind of showing off that she was showing off inside the store that she can, do powers and stuff like that. Carly Cooper leaves without really talking to Peter and has a side eye towards Peter. And then, so
gotta say it's not 2009 and 2010, so I'm not triggered by the appearance of Carly Cooper.
Yep. So then we have.
Is there anyone out there who still is?
Probably,
but I don't know of anybody. But anyway, so while she's doing the explanation of her powers and stuff, and we get a brief explanation as to like what she's kind of doing, which Neil will kind of further elaborate. The Spider Boys show up on cue, and then somebody's like yells, "Hey, there's Electros fighting!" and that's when the Spider Boys show up, see the Electros fighting, then they turn on each other, and then we're kind of caught up to the present tense, where turns out Juliet really didn't want to be a superhero, but then she kind of felt guilty that she wasn't being a superhero. And so now she's got this, sort of proto costume and a mask that's kind of semi-enchanted to make sure that she can keep her identity secret. Meanwhile, later on Wednesday, we have the appearance of the lizard that Electro and Electro are coming to have him help them smite the Spider Boys. So that is issue 10 of the book. So, Neil, please, you have the floor. Explain who the hell this person is from Gods.
Okay.
What Gods is.
So imagine, if you will, the biggest Jonathan Hickman vanity project you've ever seen. Basically, he explains that there are two... No, Gods, because that's even more masturbatory. So there are two societies. One controls magic. One controls science. One of Hickman's OCs, the edgy Doctor Who, is the magic guy, and then the blonde Asian lady is the science one. They were married, but now that they're the avatars of magic and science, they got divorced. The magic guy, he has a sidekick from... So basically how this works is each side has like the avatar, and then they trade like a member of their faction to the other as apprentices. So magic guy has a science guy as his sidekick named Dimitri, and in order to kind of keep that cosmic balance in the face of some Hickman cosmic bullshit, the science people got a magic apprentice, and that is Mia. Basically, she has basically just Doctor Strange bullshit powers, whatever the plot needs her to have. Initially, her power...
Quesada, insert that infamous Joe Quesada joke.
It's magic. We don't have to explain it. Basically, her powers were clipped. It's like a baby bird getting clipped on its wings or something. I don't remember the exact phrase, but her powers are limited. The science lady went to go bargain with Eternity to give her back her powers, and that was fun. So I guess now she can access her full powers. Which doctor would the magic guy be? Which one was Scottish? David Tennant? Was David Tennant Scottish? No, he's not Scottish.
Yeah, he's Scottish. He's Scottish.
Yeah, he is. I think.
I guess. Basically, imagine like the chillest version of a Garth Ennis OC mixed with the David Tennant Doctor. I don't know. That's all you get. That's God's, baby.
That is God's. Okay. Adam, your thoughts on this first issue?
I liked it. I thought the art was pretty good throughout the whole thing. I liked the teamwork. I liked the teamwork between the Electros and the Spider-Men. And I thought the elementary stuff was okay. It was cool that she helped out. The Gods thing, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if that was totally needed, but whatever. The scenes with Peter and Sally and Miles and Kamala were good. Yeah, good issue. Probably one of the best issues of the run so far.
Wow.
Can I be honest? I don't like Elementary's costume. Like, I know that all the best costumes taken, but there's no like
it's like
iconography. It's just a blue. It's just a blue suit.
It's like a very minimal. It's an even more minimal Fantastic Four. It's like Fantastic Four without.
I hope it's a prototype suit until she really discovers her niche and establishes her identity, which she's in the process of doing. So I hope she gets something a little bit more colorful and elaborate that really represents all the elements that she's working with.
I hope so.
That is fair. So, Neil, do you have thoughts?
It's fine. I'm glad that someone's finally addressing the what do we do with the two Electros problem. I don't know why them specifically, considering there's like 5 Hawkeyes, 2 Flashes, 50 Green Lanterns, 5 Civil Wars.
Villains are more egomaniacal, I guess.
It's a cool idea. Just, I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on it. I just think it's interesting. Like, we're tackling this kind of storyline. I wasn't a huge fan of the art. I liked Genele, but I wasn't a huge fan of Lasso. That felt a little too rough. I don't know how I feel about the date scene.
You're a big Kamala Khan fan, so
because I know that Miles had like a pretty unreciprocated crush on her back during like the early stages of Champions and Mark Waid's Avengers run, but they kind of got over that like really fast, and they've been like really good friends for a while. So it just feels weird to toss in this very unnecessary drama.
Well, it feels also like residual guilt of her watching her die in that horrible comic, but
which one? The one where he made a deal with Mephisto, and after watching a building fall on her or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not even that one. Even when
you're talking about the Zeb Wells one where she.
Yeah, the Zeb Wells. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't there for that part.
Yeah, he wasn't there,
but he still knows about it.
Yeah,
yes. but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I do think it's nice that I'm not sure if Sally's going to come back during the book.
I think she is. I think
Weisman just waiting for Joe Kelly to write her out of the book, write Shay out of Amazing Spider-Man, so he can move in and get his love interest in. Let's go.
Hey, I'm all about it. Peter and that wonderful voice that we hear in our heads. Thank you,
Peter! Why are we doing Lois Griffin?
Because it kind of is the same voice.
Yeah, but one's a Jersey accent and the other's Boston. So it's a little bit different, you know.
Peter, this is just like that time I was cloned in high school.
All right, Greg, your thoughts before I give my thoughts.
I thought it was a really fun issue. I actually like seeing the two Electros working together. They're in competition with each other, but I also like it when villains are competent. They're not going to let infighting between them let the spiders beat them, so they're working in tandem. Also, their little contest, whoever kills gets to keep the name, which we all know they're going to go back on that one. But it's a nice parallel to we have two Electros fighting two Spideys. I did enjoy the date scene and some really nice character work there. I do agree I'm not the biggest fan of Elementary's costume, but I am enjoying the character a great deal. So I'm really looking forward to
part of me wants to like design a costume and like it'll never see the light of day, but just like do it for the sake of like proving it can be done.
Well, I'm sure it can be done. Again, I'm hoping this is a case where it's a proto costume until she really establishes herself and gets a real costume.
Betty Brant voice. All right, Greg, what is your grade on this issue?
I give it an A. I liked it quite a bit. I liked it a lot. I have no real complaints about it.
Adam, your grade?
A-.
All right, A- for Adam. Oh. A- for Adam. Greg's grade is a B. Also an A. Neil, your grade?
I give it a B.
I'm going to give this a B. All right. So I have not given my thoughts yet. So this issue I like more than the next issue. I think the Electros are fun. I think them being together and working together, I think is an interesting concept. The fact that, like Neil, you said, that nobody's touched it, I think is kind of baffling a little bit.
I kind of get the idea that they're trying to do like what Peter and Miles just do. Like, oh, if two people can be Spider-Man, don't need to really dig into it too much.
Well, just them not even interacting with each other has been kind of baffling to me, considering.
Oh yeah, like she made out with him after and then shocked him to death in Clone Conspiracy, and then like he came back at some point, and then they never interacted again.
Yeah, like she's
like
off
even during the Sinister War, where Spencer's Ghost Rider had them like right next to each other, and they said nothing to each other.
They're just like, hey.
They didn't even talk to each. They didn't even do that. They just were like standing next to each other, and nothing happened.
Any interactions happened in off-panel land, and that just was again, it's a bit bizarre that it's not happened, considering how intrinsically tied their origins are together, right? I'm surprised Slott didn't have them interact during his run. So the fact that we're finally getting that, I think, is good.
So I did want to Sally. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I did want to point out something else. If you guys have read Rainbow Rowlett's She-Hulk run, the one that Genelette comes from, as far as the artist, the colors on there are way better. I don't like Delgado's palette on Genelette's art. It works better for Ramos, but Ramos is really hyper detailed on like shading and stuff, and it works there. But there's too much negative space in Genelette's art style for the palette to kind of blend together.
I do want to point out though, I really like this cover that we've got on screen here. It's a really good cover.
This is a good cover. I agree.
Dyke Ruin has elevated himself to the J. Scott Campbell school of I only do covers because it pays more. Because he's doing the Ultimates covers too. So
yeah. So I like the dating scene. I like the fact that Peter's like, I don't care about the clone thing, honest, because like we know, right? But I think it's also Peter seeing the humanity in her and like the struggle of, an adult version of Sally showing up, and she can't just like waltz into her not parents' lives. It kind of gives me that Ben Reilly Seeds of Doubt vibes, but I think it really is like a question that I didn't even think about when it came to like the clone conspiracy stuff. So seeing that kind of also being touched upon and brought forth, I think really worked for me.
Clone Conspiracy was a crap story, but I actually like seeing cool things done with what came out of it. I mean, if you're going to have it anyway, you may as well mine it for things that you can use.
Listen, I had a blast recording that episode.
Oh, I did too. That was fun.
But I hate that story. So
do I.
Oh God, that story sucked. I did like Shashan working with Juliet. I like Greg and Greg. I dig Shashan. I like when she's being used. I did and like
Bertone digs her too. Bertone, our good.
Oh yeah, Bertone loves Shashan.
We need to have him on one of these sometime.
Yeah, I need to just text him and be like, hey, we're going to record on this night, talking about spec. But to me, the elemental powers, every time she says like air, earth, human, fire,
Captain Planet.
I just think of Captain Planet every time.
Me too. Heart.
Which
quintessence.
Oh shit! You know what I just realized? He's probably going to do a heart thing, like human.
What I think he'll do is he might do quintessence, because he show ran the second season of Witch way back in the mid-2000s before he did Spectacular Spider-Man, and there were elemental heroes there. The fifth element was quintessence.
What is the hell is quintessence?
It's sort of like lightning, but it animates things. The principle is, and this is based on real mythology, it's what helped bring the Frankenstein's monster to life also, with the lightning strikes and everything. So it's supposed to be the mythological fifth element according to some mythology. So and since that was a show he show ran, and he already did a nod to Witch in the first issue of the comic, so I could see there being another one.
So, yeah. So, like I say, I enjoyed it. I did like that she's like, I won't do the fire and turn on the sprinklers again. Which is obviously...
I appreciate the guy in the background going, thank you.
Right? Like, as somebody that's worked in the service industry, it's like, oh, thank God. Please don't. Like...
Yeah. Also, imagine living in this world where this sort of thing is so commonplace at this point. You're kind of having these nonchalant reactions to things.
Just blame a mutant and then go like build a sentinel in your garage or something. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Mutants,
so yeah,
fucking muties
will not replace us. Mutants will not replace us.
Reed, get the sentinels.
I don't. Yeah, so I don't love the name Elementary. I'm sorry. I thought it was cute that the chapter's name is Elementary, My Dear Spider-Man. I thought that was cute. So
I don't think the name works as
a superhero name. It's just kind of off. Like it's like a 3 out of 10.
I'm not
Sorry.
in love
Sorry,
with it
Greg.
either, but I know I'm not in love with it either. But I also think in a lot of ways, a lot of the good superhero names have been taken.
That's fair. So we get to our next. So I will point out here in that there was an alternate cover that was by Mark Bagley, where Miles has got his Sword of Doom and Peter's got a web shield.
I want to draw Miles like fighting in Blood Hunt with the Venom sword, going, where's Ronald Reagan? Doing the Doom Eternal pose.
Oh yeah. So then we get to the issue that came out last week, which is issue 11. Titled, the storyline is titled Strange Love. Chapter 4 is called Spider What? Greg Weisman is the writer. Andres Ginolette is the artist with Von Randall this time. So we open with our Spider-Men arguing with one another because Miles has reached his absolute limit and Peter is like, come on, buddy, we got to get out of here. And then we have a snail and turns out that it's honey. We shrunk the spiders. And so the spider person is like, hey, follow me. And then we cut to the sewers where we have Billy Connors and Martha Connors still lizardified in the sewers.
I'm honestly surprised that bit from Clone Conspiracy has stuck for so long.
Yeah, me too.
It's been a long time, yeah.
So we have
6 years.
Yeah,
probably.
So we have Doc
because it was back when I was in high school.
God, and hey, you know what? Kurt Connors can't uneat his real son.
Oh boy, I think this is the portion that made Ashley's head hurt.
I think it would be really funny if like the Electros want.
Holy shit! I literally just said this is the part that makes Ashley's head hurt, and then like pop, she pops in. So hang on, let me get out of this view, and we'll get into.
Well, you made it worse. I
made it worse. Shut up.
It's bad. But also I'm like Beetlejuice, like you summoned me.
I think it'd be really funny if the Electros are like, hey, Dr. Connors, we know how you can help us. You have to eat Billy again.
So we'll explain that in a second, Ash, because like I'm in the middle of the recap. So
no, you're good.
We then have the lizard people go to join the Enclave, which has what is the big Miles clone's name?
Shift.
Thank you. I almost said Semp, and I was
because I like good clones.
Shift. Hey. I say this wearing a hoodie, asshole.
It's like Miles's clone, Shemp.
Shempo.
I
almost said
Shift. I
Semp.
don't
It's
care.
Anyway. So Shift is like welcoming the Connors to into the Enclave, and Billy's throwing a temper tantrum and runs off.
I love Shift's welcoming like embrace. Welcome to the sewers. Eric Adams wanted to get rid of us the bad way, but we found our way down here. We're getting out.
So, there's an acknowledgement of what happened with Hunted, and that Billy should be staying underground. Billy basically says GTFO. We then cut to now where our mini Spideys are flying around with Cobweb, where we get them being taken to judgment before Queen Maba and Prince Oberon.
Queen Mab and Prince Oberon, yes.
Thank you, Greg, because you're the one that understands this shit that I don't. So we then come back to then where we've got the Spideys with Elemental, and that she wants to train and everything, and then we see.
Oh, this is Gust, I think. That's one of the. That's one of Miles's rogues gallery from the Cape Killers or whatever the fuck they're called.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be doing some of my own explanations right after the recap, just like you explained Gods earlier.
Yeah. So we then get even further back. We have Francine and
God, you being pissed off turns me on.
where they start making out in front of each other, and
In
Right
front of
in
each
front of
other.
Billy.
You mean in front of Billy?
Yeah, Billy's like, never mind, I'll just be going now. Then they get this really
Those
shitty
are
grin
the
on their face.
angriest. Those are the angriest sparks I've ever seen fly.
Let's kill the kid and get the blood pumping.
I
Forward
mean, I wish it would have happened a little sooner. I don't really care for him, but that's neither. here
So-
nor there.
Kill the lizard boy, Ashley, 2025.
I already
In my
told her
villain era,
he's
Poor
already
guy.
been unalived. He was eaten by his
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
I understand why, if I'm being completely honest.
Well,
Sorry, Billy, but I love the idea that like we turned the time machine back to 2009. Was that when Billy died? 2009.
Yeah.
And
To be
uh,
fair,
I have to write.
To be fair, Billy was getting younger ever since the '90s. So,
Oh,
he's-
like-
But,
like,
but
Billy
I
aged
think
up
I think it's a great idea though if we go back 2008 and tell Zeb Wells, okay, so our friend in the future wants you to eat Billy or wants the lizard to eat Billy, and
To
then we're the
complete
reason shed happens.
We're like the Terminator for shit.
I am the was it Kyle Rayner? No, that's the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a completely different.
Kyle
one.
Reese.
Yeah, I am the Kyle Reeves that inseminates the Amazing Spider-Man, Sarah Connors.
I'm uncomfortable with how you phrased that. Anyway, so
That's the joke.
If that lizard kid got eaten, I'm fine with it. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus Christ! I love how we have like our hater era for a little boy.
So forward to the more recent.
He just
then.
wants to see the world. He's been in the sewers for 6 years.
So we have
Boo-hoo.
someone manipulating the air and being the air, and I guess it's two entirely different things. Then we have, other elements showing up, and Elemental starts, showing that she has multiple powers. The other elementals are pissed off because they can't do that, and so she's now put on trial, and that because she's human, this must not stand. And then everybody gets shrunk down, and so then it becomes Honey, We Shrunk the Spiders. And
I just want to state for the record, there's a missed opportunity here, Greg. If you're listening, missed opportunity. This should have taken place either near Belvedere Castle or the Delacorte Theater, where Shakespeare in the Park is performed.
there you go. So
That's great.
basically Elemental is put on trial. The spiders try to show up to save the day, and then they get freaking caught. And then
Did you say caught or clapped?
caught.
I mean, kind of both. I mean,
They did get kind of clapped. They're like,
Yeah.
so. Oh man! So they then go on trial. It turns out that Elemental is, not going to be executed by these fairies, and Spider Sprite is a fangirl of the spiders, and so she gets super excited. She flies off and squeeze. They then get turned back into normal size, where one of the fairies kind of tells Juliet that, hey, darkness pours in the cracks of a broken heart, and then beware.
That was Mab who said that to her.
no, you need to say that. You need to do it in the Dr. Orpheus. Beware!
Beware! Meanwhile, we then get kind of caught back up with the Electros, basically saying, if you don't help us defeat the spiders, we're going to murder your child. And
And then
The
feed
issue.
him.
And then Ashley says, "Let them."
Can I just say,
I
I
love that
think
you just get me, Greg.
I love this final page where it looks like Doc Connors about to say like, the meanest shit.
yeah, like Doc Connors looks like he's about to just, instead of hulking out, he's about to lizard out and just use his
Yeah.
Stegron
He's-
Tail of Doom.
Wait a minute, isn't he separate from the lizard now?
I don't know.
Oh
He
yeah,
is.
he's no longer the lizard.
Right?
That's
He's-
right.
yeah.
Yeah, because he got separated by the
Beyond
isotope
Corp.
genome accelerator. No, he got accelerate. He got isotope genome accelerated back during Sinister War, and then Beyond Corporation got the lizard body and I guess combined it with Morbius somehow. I don't remember
Yeah.
what happened.
His DNA. At
Oh
least.
my god, I don't know any of this stuff.
It's
You're better
okay. We
off.
don't really know some of it either because
Like we're pulling
been
this
in, like-
partly out of our ass.
it's been in miniseries, and it was in runs that we've covered on the show, but it's also been in miniseries that I don't know if we've done on the show. So
Fair enough.
some stuff
should
that I
do
haven't
my-
read. So
Should I do my own explanation of things yet, or
Yes,
Sure.
please.
All right,
All right, before you do
Greg,
that-
you have the floor, like
All right.
like Neil had. So
okay? Before we dive into that, because I didn't get to say hello to Ashley. Ill met by moonlight, proud Ashley. If anyone gets that joke, but no.
No.
Okay, that was quite literally the zoom. Never mind. That was quite literally the first line Oberon has when he meets Queen Titania in Midsummer Night's Dream. So when he first come on stage, again, because that's what we're talking about here. But okay, first I'll start out spectacular Spider-Man reference, cobweb spider sprite costume. That's the costume that
yeah,
Glory Grant wore in that episode of Spectacular Spider-Man opening night when she played Cobweb in the school production of Midsummer Night's Dream. So it's
I
really cool
forgot.
to bring that back. I will buy a Marvel Legend of that if they ever make this. I will buy that. I will buy a Spider Sprite if they ever make one. Okay, so Queen Mab was mentioned she's historically, according to some Celtic folklore, she was the queen of the fairies. In Shakespeare's plays, she was mentioned not in Midsummer Night's Dream, but in Romeo and Juliet. Mercutio has this entire monologue about Queen Mab. Oberon was married, of course, to Queen Titania, and the designs here for Oberon and Mab. Okay.
Goes towards Zach.
Yep, and I put the links in the private chat if you want to pull them up. But the designs for Oberon and Queen Mab in this issue are very much based on the designs of Oberon and Queen Titania in Gargoyles. Zach, I linked them in the private chat if you want to pull them up.
Oh, yeah. All right, let me.
I got it. Hang on.
Hang on, I got it. Share screen. This one.
Yep.
Okay.
You can really see that, can't you?
Zoom
All
in.
right. And then pull this up. Share screen. There we go.
Yeah, this is the one that I told Walter I might wear.
I think you should. I love her.
Yeah, yeah, she's awesome. So, and another, to tie it back to Gargoyles even more, Queen Mab, she hasn't shown up in Gargoyles yet, but she was a character that Weisman always said he intended to bring in, and with the comics now, hopefully, eventually, he will. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so there's obviously a lot of Shakespeare in there because Weisman and myself also are both Shakespeare fanatics. So he's bringing in his case, it reads to me, and I'll admit this also, this is self-indulgence, but I like it. I also understand why a lot of people might not appreciate it. I do very much appreciate it on multiple levels. But you know what? Writers do this stuff all the time. Didn't we get Secret Invasion back in the aughts because they liked Battlestar Galactica a little bit too much?
Oh, I thought that was a 9/11 metaphor. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. I unironically thought it was like a
No,
they're all among us.
It was partly Battlestar inspired too.
Yeah, definitely. We got Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars to set up a battle world based on Game of Thrones.
By the way, that's not like a joke in the Stark Tower attack way that we've done. I'm pretty sure there was like a.
We're good. We're good, Neil. You don't have to overly explain.
So, yeah,
No, but like
so, yeah.
I said 9/11 out of.
Don't come at us.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just out of nowhere go, oh yeah, 9/11 when Greg says Secret Invasion. So I just wanted to make sure that no one thought I was having a haha at the expense of New York.
Mhm.
It's like the
Well, I'm
family.
from New York. I'm from New York. You're forgiven.
Okay, cool.
Nothing to forgive. I knew you weren't making a joke. But anyway, so yeah, it's based on Shakespeare. It's also not some stuff he did in Gargoyles and stuff he plans to do in Gargoyles at some point. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am here for it. And I'll keep my further thoughts to later, but that's me having the floor like Neil usually does.
What? Sorry.
Nothing. I wasn't calling on you, dude. I wasn't calling on you.
All right.
This is like the most dysfunctional episode we've ever done.
Yes, it is. So, Neil.
Is it really?
Yeah, kind of.
The same thing, Greg.
I think we've had some worse ones. Neil, your thoughts on this particular issue?
I remember in the group chat when the issue first came out, I'm like, man, this is really fucking self-indulgent.
Yes. As his dogs start.
They're agreeing with me. Okay, hang on. Come back to me. I'm gonna go figure this
go
shit
deal with
out.
your dogs. Adam, your thoughts?
I thought this one was. I didn't like this one as much as 10. I think the cutaways. I thought the cutaways were like the back and forth in 10 with like, you know, then now. That was better in 10 than it was here. I feel, because I don't know. I think overall, I think I was just like, I mean, I kind of got the Shakespeare thing. And I thought Cobweb was cute, but like, I don't know. This felt kind of like filler, I guess, in a way that was like, oh, I want to see what's happening with the Electro plot and the Lizard plot more than, and you know, Peter and Elfrey and Miles and all that. Like, I want to see that continue more than this kind of like mini adventure. Like, do this, I don't know, after the arc, maybe. I mean, I kind of get what it was going for, I think, but I don't know.
So I agree, but I agree with you. But I'll let Ashley talk because I know she does not like this, and I'm sorry, Ashley.
I am so sorry for what I'm about to say because I know Greg enjoyed this, and I
went on a tear about Star Wars last time. Go right ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna be completely honest because that's the only way I know how to be. I love how
Ashley's like, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, say it.
I was saying, I love how Ashley looks like she's about to drop like the biggest clap track of all time. Prepare.
Like,
I'm going to say hard words.
I am.
And you're not going to be nice.
It's a struggle for me because I actually read these two issues out of order. And because of how this book has been, I didn't even bat an eye over it.
It kind of works because the end of 11 is basically the end of 10, so it works.
It did, which was kind of weird when I did read the other one. So yeah, I actually read them out of order, but the way that the series has went consecutively, where I feel like it is a little bit non-cohesive for me because of the different jumping around, that I didn't even notice that I was reading them out of order. So that was my first thing involving this. They've introduced between like the last like issue, and I know you guys had already spoken on this, there were some characters that I feel like they should just all know them. And if you're coming into this series and you don't have a big background on all of these different stories, different series, different characters, you're not going to know who the hell these people are. And I truly didn't even know. Like, there was a reference to, you know, some other series, and I had no idea who that person was.
I had no idea who that person was either.
So that makes me feel a little bit better because I was like, okay, who the hell is this?
Are we talking about Mia or Gus? Or Gus?
I don't know. Pick both of them, probably.
Probably God. The Gods reference.
The Gods thing.
The book only Neil. The book only Neil read.
I missed Neil's history lesson on them.
Yeah. So
he arrived for my history lesson. He didn't arrive for his.
Hang on, let Ashley cook. Let Ashley cook, guys.
Let me cook. So that was part of it. I'm also having a huge struggle in regards to characters, and that is just due to design. There are so many women in this series that all look similar to me. There's not super big differentiating characters like characteristics of those characters that I'm actually having problems knowing when they're talking about a specific person, and then they show, you know, like the next scene and it looks like the same damn person that I saw before. And I'm like, I don't know who these women are. Like, I'm having issues between Elemental. Even when she was in her other form, I was confusing her with the other, like, what are those characters called? The little sprite people. What are they again?
Shakespeareans, I guess. I don't know.
They had a name. That, yeah.
Sealy.
Yes, that. I was having issues differentiating some of them from her. I was having issues with differentiating like the women that were on the dates with Peter and Miles. So there were a lot of things that I feel like need to be a little bit more stand outish about those characters, or don't have them all in the same like page together, because it's very confusing. When I'm looking, I'm like, okay, who's this one, who's that one, trying to differentiate. And maybe that's just my brain and I'm maybe incorrect in that, but yeah, this was yet another struggle for me between plot lines and different characters and differentiating characters and unnecessary characters, which I'm sure will probably, you know, they needed it to move like Elemental's like line, you know, her storyline. But at the same time, I wasn't a huge fan of it. So like I said, I read the books out of order and they still made sense in a manner. But at the same time, I shouldn't have been basically expecting it to be like in order like that, because I've struggled with the rest of these books. So like I said, it didn't even make a difference to me whatsoever, because I've kind of went into each one of these issues kind of like confused, like because they jump around so much. So reading them out of order wasn't a big issue.
Yeah, I will say this.
I'll just say I also want to say I do definitely agree with you on some of the design work. There are times when I was wondering who I was looking at various times, and we were talking about this earlier. I hope Elementary gets a newer costume at some point that really showcases her power set of different elements instead of just the blue. So
oh yeah, that's right. Elementary, not Elemental.
That's all right.
My dear Watson. Like that's I just have to remember that.
But yeah, like I said, I do agree with you about some of the design work, so you're definitely not wrong.
Okay. I am in agreement more on the second issue, Ashley. I did not like it. I read it the day before it came out because of the way the holiday hit, and my shop happened to get it the day before. So I read this on New Year's Eve, and I just remember when I finished it up, I was like, man, I had to read it like 3 times. And I knew, like in the back of my brain, I was like, today when I sent Ashley the digital copies that I have, I knew Ashley was going to struggle because I struggled with this second issue, especially.
And I took my medications for my ADHD, and I still had trouble like going through the series. So it is definitely a struggle when it's just back and forth, especially when my brain is like functioning at normal right now to like, you know, sit there and understand it. It was hard.
Yeah, I'm with Adam here on this particular issue. This felt like interlude the issue. And considering the time between issues, that it felt like only like 3 weeks passed. I guess it was technically 4 weeks, but like it was very quick, the turnaround between issues 10 and 11. And so it just kind of felt a lot like filler. And I agree with, I think Adam, you said that. But I think the artwork is really, I struggled really hard with the artwork. The scene with Billy in the tunnels, I know it's supposed to kind of convey a different vibe because you're in the sewers and stuff like that. I understand from a structural standpoint why they threw that in there, but it just didn't hit for me. I don't like when Billy's whiny. This has been an issue with Billy for a while.
That's why his dad ate him, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, and I hated that story too. As somebody that's I've almost read and reread all of Spider-Man from the beginning. Billy's been so inconsistent. It's like it's not even funny.
Billy
Like,
Connors must die.
Billy
Wow,
Connors
Billy.
has aged up and down like 3 times. Like he started off as like a 7-year-old, and then he became like up to a 13-year-old, and then
I bet it's Franklin Richards' fault.
it's probably he's just as bad. And so
Fucking Franklin.
yeah, Franklin's just as bad when it comes to the age stuff. But at least there's some in story reasons. There's no reasons here. I've never liked the whole them being lizard people to begin with. I think it was tired when it happened. It was not a storyline that I liked. And either they don't need to be on the board or this needs to be resolved, in my opinion.
He is looking for a
Agreed.
cure.
Right.
It's mentioned in this.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. That's Doc Connor's thing. That's his shtick. He's always
That's every story he's in. He's just looking
Like,
for a
pretty
cure.
much.
he's always looking for the cure, or he's getting freaking voodooed by a Calypso.
That's
or,
what part of me says. You know what? Stop looking for a cure and just embrace it.
Be a
it.
lizard man.
Yes,
be
be
a
that.
half man, half lizard. I
don't
just
know.
I don't like what I loved. One of my favorite lizard stories is the 30th anniversary story, where Billy was a little treated more like a teenager.
Is that
And
where he goes after him with a steak knife?
yes, yes, he does. It wasn't a steak knife. I think it was actually a butcher knife. But
Simpler times back then.
yeah,
Simpler
like
times.
Back when men were men.
Oh my god.
So ridiculous.
When there is no fail to describe the amount of fail, there's always facepall.
I don't know. I'm waiting for that brother, sister, cousin duo to get rid of the lizard kid.
Oh, I thought you were
The
talking about Sweet Home
Electros.
Alabama.
Yeah, the Electros, it's so weird to me. I don't like, they look similar in I get it, their costumes and all that stuff. They're very similar and whatever, but they look facially similar in their story thing too. So I just,
Sweet Home Alabama.
that's
Well,
why I've been
the issue-
taking. I hope they get rid of that lizard kid though. That's
The lizard- I outraged over Billy getting eaten on that other podcast, and
That other podcast.
but I'm not gonna lie.
Is he wrong?
If-
It was that other podcast.
On that other podcast, if I could go back and tell and give this issue to my former self, I think my former self would have been like, "Oh yeah, thanks, I hate it." So I don't blame the artwork issues with Weisman. I think that's more editorial issues, because now this was supposed to be Ramos. Not that Ramos would have been necessarily better, but I understand.
I don't think this was supposed to be Ramos. I think he did the first arc or so, and then that was
He dipped, yeah.
Yeah, that was his thing.
He
So
just-
now we're like, okay, we've got 2 guys, which I think it's smart to split up because it seems like artists these days have issues with doing monthly books. I think it is kind of smart to have 2 that are kind of not totally similar, but one guy does the superhero stuff and the other guy does the supporting cast stuff, essentially. That seems smart to me, but
I don't disagree.
It's economic.
I liked the artwork
Yeah, it's
significantly
economic.
better in 10 than I did in 11.
yeah, I thought 10 was good.
It just felt like that
Agreed.
Ginolette was a lot more rushed in the second issue.
Probably, yeah. Possibly.
It's
I don't
so
know, Spider Sprite, whatever her name is, Cobweb. I don't know, but she was cute. I thought
Yeah.
she was.
oh yeah,
cute.
Cobweb, yeah.
that the
I want
the-
a Marvel Legend of her.
although
I
I
would
did
actually
think
want one too. She's actually super adorable. So
I did think that the Squee was it's man, it's not 2004 anymore. But
yeah. So I just think that for me, the second issue was significantly more disappointing than the first. The first issue was quite enjoyable. And I just think I'm at the point now with the structure, Greg. This one was the one that really made me go, I'm not enjoying the structuring of this book.
Yeah.
I think
it was better, I think, in 10. 10 was it was kind of, it was like, okay, it seemed more manageable, logical. I don't know, but this one was too much because there were like three different things happening, and we're going back. I think less is more, right? So it's like you have in 11 you have like these three different things going back and forth, but in 10 you had like 2-ish, maybe 2.5. I don't know. It was a little different, and then it culminates into the present better, I think, than this might have.
I mean, it opened up to that weird snail thing, and I was like, "Oh, this is where
what the fuck are we doing?
What's going on in this
what
one?
happened?
What I do want to say is I feel like this is kind of, because we know that Greg, he's a TV writer. I feel like this is him kind of. I feel like this kind of thing would work better in a TV show than it does in a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
It can work in a comic book, but I think it's there's too much of it going on in the in a comic book setting. Whereas if this were a TV show, it might flow a little better with the going back and forth.
I think so, because they're not going to probably be posting like then, now, meanwhile, after a while,
that too,
7 years later.
That shit was annoying. That shit was obnoxious.
It does get a little because then when it's almost every other page, like every 2 pages or so, and you get like then, now, even later. Yeah,
we didn't need that. We didn't need the like constant back and forth. You can show time passing linearly. That is how time usually works.
The thing is it's been almost every issue that this has been happening, and I think it got to we're almost a year into this book being published this way. So I know it's kind of like part of the style, but I am
That's
kind
crazy.
of
Actually, it's almost been a year since this came out.
I know. It's been almost a year since I interviewed too.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, okay, I kind of just want to start an issue with the guys going to the coffee shop, and we get into our adventure that way. Like,
or at least like you can start it, in media res, where it's like they're fighting the Electros, and then maybe you just go,
instead of going back and forth, you go back to the coffee bean.
You start it, and then
you get back to the Electro stuff. Yeah, I'm completely with you. Going back and forth.
I'm now thinking of the Spectacular Spider-Man episode, the Molten Man episode. It was sort of done in a similar structure, if you remember the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's TV.
Yeah,
that's my point. That's our point.
I'm actually using that to help you support your point.
Okay,
let him finish, Greg or Neil.
And I'm saying I think that's sort of what the structure is going for. So,
yeah, my issue is that it's fine when it's every once in a while, but when it's if they did that every episode, it would kind of get grating, I think, for a while. And look, I know Greg listens to the show, and I appreciate that. Because I know he's not going to take any of our criticisms personally. He's a professional, but I just think that, like, I kind of want to see a little more tightening of the structure of the book a little bit more, like a little less jumping back and forth, and kind of maybe starting with the action, go to the coffee bean, and then get all the coffee bean stuff out of the way, and then back to the action, and we get towards the end of the book. I think that would structurally be a little better than we're jump cutting to different things. And I think because when you add more subplots and you're jumping back and forth, I think it's just more, it's more of an issue to read, I think. And so I think
my brain would process it better in that too, instead of the constant jumping around. Because like I said, I was not surprised reading the books out of order, opening it up to a snail, and then being little all of a sudden, because I was like, oh, this is where we're at. Like, I don't know. Like, it's been that pacing. So I'm like, oh, this is like normal, that I didn't even think I was reading the incorrect issue first. So
actually, I literally, when I opened the book up, I'm with my dad, and I kind of was like,
what the fuck?
wait, and I'm looking back at the front of the cover, and I'm like, I did not miss an issue.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I missed an issue at first when I first started reading the book. And so it's a disorienting element, I think, that really kind of hurts the book in a little bit of ways. I'm curious how they're going to collect these, because obviously
I think it's
we got
5 issues per, so this is gonna be the 11's gonna be the first of volume 3. I think that's what I think. I don't know for sure, but
yeah, that's
So
weird.
let me get this straight. So we're
kinda works.
following Elementary and her
Mhm.
journey, getting like
Mhm.
to know all of her powers and stuff.
Mhm.
They are still doing the whole like group therapy thing, so that's
Yes.
still going on.
Yes.
The Electros are fighting over who gets to be Electro,
while
and
making
yet,
out.
yeah, I was just gonna say that's why I said the weird like brother, sister, cousin, wives.
Oh,
That thing going
holy
on.
shit! That time it was
We're
Even
awful.
though they're not related.
Yeah,
but
they're
I
not
know,
actually
but
related.
I know, but they look like facial
Yeah.
structure wise
I
when they
can
have
see
that
that,
costume
actually.
on, they look similar. So I was like,
Well, even when they're walking next to each other and they're about to make out, they do kind of the facial.
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah,
They're like,
that-
I don't
Facial
like you.
structure
I
is
think
kind of. I'm looking at it now. It's like, yeah, the facial structure is kind of similar.
they're like, I don't like
it'd be
you. Let's
different
make
if
out. Like
Francis-
you're smoking hot. Like it's so.
It's Sam and
weird.
Diane as supervillains.
It's so
It kind of
weird.
is. And look, if Francine had like her freaking, she had a bunch
She said
of
piercings and
She's got
dyed hair
piercings
and
and
Like
tattoos and stuff.
something.
She was like a groupie.
Yeah, she had her piercings and
Do
tattoos, and then when she got flash fried because she made out with Max the first time,
Which
she
I didn't
got-
even know about that either. The way that he said something about her being dead or whatever.
To be fair, he did say he killed her, so
yeah. So, but like, I didn't know that. I was like, where's that coming from? So it was like
I didn't
another
know that
little.
yeah,
This was
No,
about 10
I'll-
years ago.
I will be fair to
Damn.
Greg. I will be fair to Greg. That's not something he did. That's just something he's telling the audience.
yeah.
I mean, that's fine. 10 years ago, he had to let everybody know that his makeout skills are that great. He killed a
That his
woman.
tongue game's so great that it fucking fried somebody.
it blew her brains out literally.
So that's
I don't get Venkman's line. What was that?
That you're Norm.
I hope not. Again, you know what? Better than Cliff.
I was thinking Norm
You're
like
the
Norm
one that
McDonald.
when Greg walks in, he's like, Greg. You know,
I don't know why, but I was thinking of Norm McDonald instead of Norm from Cheers.
Can I be
When you can be Pigeon from Mike Tyson Mysteries.
I'm in all of the Shakespeare and stuff. I'm Frasier.
yeah. Ashley is wearing a Deadpool and Wolverine shirt on a Spider-Man podcast. Oh no, the MCU multiverse is spreading.
Oh no, I've collected Deadpool stuff for a really long time. So
yeah, like
this is like
for almost as long as I've known Ashley.
yeah.
So.
And the X-Men also goes with that. But yeah, so that storyline's going on. They kidnap the lizard kid. Then they're going after his dad to what? What is he doing exactly?
He's gonna shit his pants in front of them.
No, he's going
like, what
to,
is his like? They want him to make something for them or what?
So he's a geneticist by trade.
I know that.
And so I think my understanding is I think they want him to make like some sort of like spider bomb that like negates their powers so they can easily defeat the spiders.
Just okay. That's something I was not fully grasping with it when they were like going to him to get him to do this. So thank you for clearing that up. So that storyline's also going on. I still don't understand that whole weird coffee date while they're also in relationships with other people thing. That's a little.
It's a friend date. They're meeting people up as friends. I mean, aren't people who are in relationships still allowed to have friendships with people outside?
Yes, but the way that they were talking about it,
Okay,
it didn't seem that way. So
Yeah.
I was like,
So here, real quick, Ashley. Sally wanted to score. Peter didn't. I
that's
guess
what it seemed like to me.
Kamala wanted to score. I guess I don't know.
God.
And she's like, I know I was once dead, but hey, I'm back, babe. Like that's the vibe I got. From
She's
both
been
of
back
them.
for like how long now? She's been back
And
2
she's
years.
And she's a
Probably.
mutant now, but you don't care about Inhumans anymore.
Well, I
She's a
mean,
mutant. She's a mutant now, so she's got another brand to latch herself onto.
considering that when she was alive in high school, Peter was like dorky, wearing a suit and glasses all the time, and now Peter's like looking like an average
actually,
human. Yeah, so like he glowed up a
Still
little,
dorky. It's
according to
cute,
her.
though.
well, not dorky in the cute way, dorky in the they'll be sorry they mess with me.
The Revenge of the Nerds way.
Let's just put it this way: if Peter hadn't become Spidey, he could have probably become a school shooter.
Okay, that wasn't me this time. That wasn't me this time.
Greg! I was not expecting that from you. That's definitely a Neil thing. Holy crap.
Actually, hang on
It
my
means-
glasses.
It means you don't know me very well, Zach. Isn't that totally in my wheelhouse?
That's in his wheelhouse. I just didn't expect him to do it live on the show.
Peter's like
Actually-
putting lipstick on and
actually,
writing a list. Like, is that him in the high school?
Actually, it's a clip-on tie. Adults are doing it. It's the new thing now. Yeah. Get me out of Solo. What the fuck?
Okay,
First
so
of all,
that clears
Walter,
that up.
Go F yourself. I love you. But go F yourself.
What is this?
Is doing
thing?
my Zach said is doing his impression of RDJ playing Tony Stark. Always eating on the show. Zach just lacks the beard, the hair, the body. I will stop there.
Zach, did you forget your name for a moment?
Aw.
Huh?
Because he wants you to wear that Spider Gwen again.
He's trying to goad you, Zach. Don't fall
He
for it.
is.
No,
By
actually,
you going, nah, look what I can pull off. That's
Yeah.
why he wants that.
But actually, no,
outfit.
I think you've got things. you got
So
handle
that is
things.
like, okay, because I'm trying to separate and compartmentalize like each of these different storylines that are happening so that it makes sense for me as I continue to read as to which ones are happening and which ones are like kind of like just filler and there.
Yeah. So
So Elementary, that's still ongoing. Like she's going to keep
Yes.
trying to, okay. Because I know there was like back and forth that she kept saying she didn't want to be a superhero, but then she was doing superhero things and she liked it. So I was like, is this like,
I think a lot of that is she has that same sort of power responsibility thing that Peter and Miles both have going for them. I mean, she wants to help people out. She didn't want to be, but she feels strong to do it.
That's great, but I don't care.
So issue 12 comes out on the 5th of February, and we will get David Boldion doing the cover, which is nice. I always like David
I didn't
Boldion.
really give my
yeah.
full thoughts yet. I talked
Oh,
about the background and everything, but I was just thinking about this, and I personally really like the issue, but it also totally speaks to me. And again, it's indulgent towards a lot of my personal interests. At the same time, and I was talking to Zach about this last week when the issue came out, I can totally understand why this would be jarring for a lot of people. All of a sudden, it's like, what are fairies doing in a Spider-Man comic? And I might say that also. At the same time, I would also say, why the hell is Spider-Man a multi-dimensional warrior more often than not these days? I mean, the Marvel universe is weird. I mean,
In fairness, I don't like that either. So I'm consistent.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
what
Different
the
strokes for
fairies?
different folks. That's kind of my thought on it.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
like the fairies. I thought they were cute, but I just couldn't differentiate any of them.
Mhm.
Except for
They all-
like the queen and prince.
Mab and
or
Oberon.
prince.
Mab
Yeah.
and
I was
Oberon,
gonna
yeah.
say all fairies look the same to me.
Someone's gonna take that out of context and use that for a different thing.
So-
Anyway,
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I totally get why it wouldn't work for some people also, or a lot of people. It depends. So I mean, if I were to give this a grade, there's a part of me that
Oh,
wants
yeah,
to
I
go
was about to
totally self-indulgent and give it an A+, but I'll actually give it an A-. Again, it spoke to me personally and everything. I loved it. It totally spoke to me. But again, I also get why it wouldn't work for a lot of people. You know what? I have to admit, I found it a little bit jarring. Also, I had to read it a couple of times to really get the gist of it. So don't feel bad.
I feel like I'm gonna have to start again. I feel like from the beginning of this part of the story, after they did like the clones and all that like stuff, and like reread it all over again. Like, just kind of go through to see how it plays out again as like I'm reading it. So, but like every time the issues are coming out, it's definitely struggle bus for me. So.
If they release a trade in proper chronological order this time, it'll be a good one.
Neil, your grade to say.
I'm going to give it like a C.
All right. Keep bumping my mic. Sorry, guys. There it is. Neil's C. Ashley, your grade.
I want to give it that D, but I will say, like,
You give it a D.
Adam, why'd your eyebrows go up?
You can give it a D.
I know, but I feel like it's actually probably, I'm just being harsh because
She's doing what I did. She's trying to be fair.
I am. I would say probably a C.
Or C minus?
Yeah, we can do C minus.
All right, C minus. Adam.
I think I'll give it a C.
Okay. Adam's giving it a C. I'm giving it a C plus.
Didn't I predict, Zach, last week on the phone, didn't I predict this would be how it was going to go almost exactly?
You say Ashley was going to give it the D.
You really did. We talked on the phone and I forgot about that. Yeah. Gave it a C plus.
I would like to know about that. How did that prediction go?
Greg?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even quite remember. I'm like, I totally dug this. I totally understand in advance why it may not have worked for anyone else but me.
Yeah, Greg's like, I think I'm going to give it an A, possibly A plus. I was like, okay,
I gave it
not.
an A minus, but yeah.
And I think I said, it's
it
probably it's B minus C plus territory for me. And then I was like, I'm pretty sure Ashley's not going to like this.
But we had a great discussion about it.
Yeah, we did. Don't be a Neil, Zach.
You were correct. You were definitely correct. My little Nostradamus over there, Greg. With his predictions.
No, I look. I what I appreciate about Ashley is, and this is something that other shows probably wouldn't do.
Okay.
I appreciate Ashley's well, hang on. Because we are obviously, Greg's a friend of the network, and we love Greg, and we appreciate everything Greg's done for us in terms of his time and his energy and stuff. This Greg too, but the other Greg, I'm talking about the writer.
I know.
I was just making a joke. But what I appreciate about Ashley is that she's not going to BS you, right? She's gonna give you the honest opinion, and if Ultimate was having similar issues, I think she'd be giving it a very similar type of thing.
1,000%, which is
little
bit sad, but yes.
One of the things that we've always tried to do here at the network is we're going to be unflinchingly fair and honest. Sometimes we'll revel in talking crap about bad stories, like Clone Conspiracy, for example. But we're not gonna. I'm not gonna sit there and say Ashley can't be on the show and can't be on this episode because you don't like this book, because like that to me is inauthentic. And I think that's something that we're trying to be as authentic as possible. And having Greg, who's a Weisman fanboy, let's admit it. But he's also coming at this from a critical eye too, and I think Greg was fair in his analysis here too. So I think. And then you got Adam, who's always extremely fair, and Neil, who half the time doesn't want to be here, but he still shows up and gives it the old college shot.
Fairness, you did ask nicely, so
I did, especially with the gods thing, because again, I didn't know what that was.
I just
I love how you came on. You're like,
I didn't read and didn't know about, so I'm at the point where I feel like, okay, new characters I don't know show up. I don't care. I'll just roll with it.
I don't care.
I appreciate that about you, Greg, too, and your explanations of stuff without sounding like like you're a know-it-all about the subject. Like you give the insight without being like, well, this is how it is, and
like comic, like being comic book guy.
Yes.
You know.
To be fair, I had to mature into doing it this way without being this condescending. It's like
you're not a condescending person.
Bishansky used to be a little more condescending back in the day.
Just kidding, Greg.
Him,
it's true,
never.
it's true.
Never.
No, we used to give Greg shit for being the film snob, and so
which
film
came
snob
out a little
Greg,
bit last time, and I kind of felt bad about it after the fact.
Yeah, I got Vietnam flashbacks whenever you were talking Star Wars with Paul. I hadn't seen that side of Greg since 2009.
I was like, it was knocking, and then it went in.
Some Pokemon made the way
Alright,
to fly.
Yeah. And Zach's gonna have me on ASM show, which will now be rated old ass man bitching. All right. Speaking of the old man, he did leave a voicemail. So you guys ready?
Oh boy, go on.
Yay,
Here
Walter.
Here we go again, girls. Let's meet this man. Okay.
Can you guys hear it?
Nope.
Are you singing Salt and Pepper?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Chilling, minding my business.
Was it dead air? Did he leave you dead air again?
No, he didn't. I thought you guys could hear that. All right. hang on.
Hello, Zach. It's me, the Joker.
Stop. Neil, damn it.
Zach, it's me, Sally.
Oh,
I gotta mute.
Zach, it's me, Sally, from Boston.
Oh, okay, hang on. Oh, technical difficulties.
Situation normal.
Please stand by.
Please stand by for the
What up?
Woo! All right, can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very quiet,
here-
but I can hear it.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the voicemail.
Hello. It's your favorite caller, Walter. Soon to be a panelist on Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
Why does it sound like someone
I just
a
wanna
woman's about
call
to file a
in-
restraining order?
Let people know I didn't terrorize Neil during Christmas or New Year's. I didn't. And Zach is so happy that I decided to go after Neil because I'll stop going after him about hoodies, cowboys,
Aliens. Wait.
12-inch scarlet spiders.
Cowboys and Aliens.
I
by
just
Alex Kurtzman.
wanted to call in and say
No.
hi and kind of lighten my mood from reading Amazing Spider-Man issues because, dear God, I have found the name of my pain, and that name is Amazing Spider-Man. And you guys have no idea what's going through my mind right now. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Walter.
He's having a Joker moment. Help him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What's so funny? You wouldn't get it.
So it's look, 12-inch Scarlet Spider is a deep ass cut from that
Whoa.
other show.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stella.
That wasn't Stella. That was freaking JR. But Stella then took it to like the nth degree.
Yeah, I know. She really made it hers. Stella, we love you. We hope you're well out there.
I don't know. I don't like that we're calling this. She made the 12-inch Scarlet Spider hers.
Okay. Do I have to explain this joke?
No.
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 Okay, good.
I think it's wrap-up time.
On the other hand, you know what? He explained gods. I explained Shakespeare. Maybe you should explain
I have to explain this level of lore. So on an old
It's
episode
your
of
turn.
I love how like everyone said, "No, Zach, you don't need to explain this thing," and Zach's like, "I need to explain this thing." So, anyways, back in the '90s,
And that's
Fair,
why
I
I
pushed
kept
him
my
to it.
mouth shut
I pushed him
because
to it.
I wanted to
It's
know.
my fault.
This is
I'm-
Bishansky's fault. So back
Yeah.
in the first or second year of Crawl Space, I had made a comment about how I'm a big fan of the Scarlet Spider, and I was staring at what I thought was 12 inches, but it was only like 10. And Scarlet Spider action figure. And as I
You
said that,
overestimated his size.
before I said the words action figure, JR said, "Oh, that's what you call it." And so then it became a joke. And
she
so
kind of did gesture some of that. So, okay.
And so then it became, then Stella decided to do an entire front page post searching for the mythical 12-inch Scarlet Spider. And as an April Fool's Day joke. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that article is still deep within the archives of the Crawl Space. So yeah, that is the story behind the 12-inch Scarlet Spider. And then
And the triad of lore dives is complete.
I don't want to talk
Just like
about
the
flower power either.
Just like the triad that that we saw earlier in the issue.
Behold, the order of the triad.
The order of the
We
triad.
have the
Go.
thruple
Hell,
of lore.
By the
Tonight
way,
we had
more power
gods.
to us Venture Brothers fans.
Oh God,
Go Team Venture.
we are
Go
not
to
talking about
Venture.
Pink K. You're not talking about Pink K. Not doing it. If you know, you know. So
Glad I don't know.
I'll explain later. Anyway,
Sometimes I'm okay being on the out for things.
Yep.
all right, everybody. So, want to thank our patrons from patreon.com/Spideydude Network. We got our sensational tier: Allison, Cindy, Ed, Eric, Georgia, Greg, Janelle, Jessica, Joyce, Catherine, Kale, Laura, Howard, Luck, Moose, Master, Drama, Phoenician, RJ, Vanessa, and Vicky. Thank you guys for your support. And then we got Sarah, Tara as our spectacular tier. We got Vinkman and what are you doing? Vinkman and Walter as our VIPs. I really appreciate that. And of course, if you have not checked out our other fine shows like Make Mine Mayday, the show all about Spider-Girl in our world. Waylon, will you quit every time I'm talking?
Don't you have this pre-recorded, Zach?
No, I don't have this part pre-recorded. No,
You should have it pre-recorded by this point, man.
I know I should.
2025 pre-record.
Okay. All right. 2025, we'll get an outro that's actually good. We got the Slot Symposium. We've got Voices from the Eyrie, which will be resuming soon there, Greg, right?
Yes, I believe so. We're coming back with the Hound of Ulster.
Nice. And then we got the Sabi Semi Era podcast, which is covering Maximum Carnage. If you check out our other fine shows in the vault, like Clone Saga Chronicles and Greg Bishansky hosting Spectacular Radio. Thank you guys for your support. If you have not already followed us on the social medias, go find us at Twitter/X at Spideydude Radio, at Spideydude Network on Facebook and Instagram and Threads and blah, blah, blah. If you have not already subscribed to us on YouTube and you're listening to us in the audio edition, go find us over on YouTube. Spideydude Radio Network is the YouTube handle. And then if you want to leave a voicemail like Walter did earlier, you can always leave us a voicemail at 818-925-6631. That is the voicemail line for all of the shows here on the Spideydude Radio Network. So you can leave a voicemail for stuff like voices and stuff like that, and I will send any and all voicemails to the respective programs. Thank you guys for watching. Happy 2025. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again if you're listening. And we will see you next time here on the Spideydude Radio Network.